everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm sharing how to wrap gifts. We are going to wrap our kids' gifts from my husband and myself, and then we also have special Santa paper as well. So we're gonna go ahead and get everything started. I will go a little slow, or I guess just real time, and show you guys kind of how I wrap presents because I'm kind of OCD about it, and I feel like there's kind of like a special certain way depending on if it's a perfect box or if it's like weird shaped or if it's closed and so it's squishy. So I kind of have different ways of doing things. So let's go ahead and get started. So to start out and just kind of explain what we're doing, we decided to kind of match our paper this year. This is paper that we've purchased over the years. I don't remember how old this is, but we're kind of doing things that match like red and green for the most part. We have a bunch of random other colors, but I want it to look mostly uniform. So this is what we're going to be using. And then the Santa paper is something different. Now, kind of a hack and a trick that we have learned over the last few years is we get a different wrapping paper and we hide it. We keep it in the garage so the kids don't see it. We wrap the Santa presents obviously when they're either at school or they're asleep, and so they don't see the paper, they don't see the presents at all, and then we put them out Christmas Eve. Because one year, I think Lacey might have been 6 or something, and she's about to turn 9. I don't know if it was this particular paper with Santa Claus on it, but we used wrapping paper she had seen before. Like, she was helping to wrap presents, and she remembers seeing that paper. So when I used it for Santa specific presents, she kind of questioned me on it, like, hey, how did Santa have the same wrapping paper that we did? So to avoid that, we use a different paper completely. I also use different tags so they don't know, they haven't seen it before. So that is a hack and a tip, a pro mom tip for you guys to do that as well if you haven't done it yet, if your kids are like mine, and pay attention because they're smart. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with a simple square box first because I figure that's the easiest, and then we'll do something weird shaped. So if you are bad at wrapping or not very good at wrapping, stay tuned because I'm going to help you out. All right, so what we're gonna do first is open the wrapping paper. I already have my tape here, and I also have scissors ready to go, and then I have the present. Now this paper is lined, it's like gridded, so it'll be a little bit easier to cut maybe, but even if it's not, that's okay. So what I always like to do is wrap on the bottom part because that's going to be the easiest place for the tape to stick onto. A lot of boxes even like this have holes or something cut out, so you might not always have a flat spot for the tape to be on. So what I do first is pull it over about halfway on the box, and then you're going to look at this section here where it's hitting the end of the paper. And what I do is I make sure that the paper goes about halfway down or just a little bit lower. So after I do that step, I'm gonna take this up and over, and I'm gonna make sure that the paper that's underneath overlaps with this paper here. And I'm just gonna make a small cut, just like that. So that way I have a marker of where this line needs to go. So after you've made this first cut here, you're gonna look at the other side of the box, and you're gonna also want to somewhat visualize or kind of fold down this part to see where it's gonna hit about halfway to. And then you're just gonna make another small cut, just like that. So that way you have a marker for this side of the box, and then you have a marker for the other part. So then we're gonna go ahead and take the present away. And you can either leave it like this and cut with your grids, or sometimes I'll flip it over and cut it this way. It just kind of depends on the paper. I know that some people don't measure this other way, or some people just cut the whole piece of paper, but that bothers me and my OCD. This is also how my mom taught me to wrap presents, so this is what I still go with to this day. So I cut the paper until I know that it's going to meet my other cut that is off to the side, and then I'll flip it around and cut it the other way. so there's my whole sheet of paper. So now it kind of looks like a giant flag, but you could easily use this other portion for another present, smaller size, or whatever you need to do. Another thing that I like to pay attention to is how the paper is going to look and sit on the actual present. So most of the words jingle are horizontal this way. So I want to flip the paper over so when I go to wrap the present, it's facing like the way that the box would, if that makes sense. That would bother me if it's backwards. If it doesn't bother you, wrap it however you want to. So I'm just gonna double check and make sure that the sides are even. And I'll pull this piece over to make sure that the sides match. If one side is longer than the other, this side over here hangs over just a little bit more. You can just tilt the box a little bit, slide it either this way or this way, and then retest it again. And I did it a little too far. Now this side is overhanging, so I'll fix it by adjusting it just a little bit. And then once both sides are perfectly even like this, then I'm gonna go ahead and actually start taping it. And I always like to tape it to the box itself first, because if I just tape on this side and I go to move the box around, if this is not taped down, this is going to move inside, and that's when you get wonky, what's the word? Wrinkly paper. So we don't want that. So I'm just gonna place a piece of tape here. There's a hole right here. So I'm gonna tape on this side and tape on the other side. So once that's taped, I just kind of push it a little bit to make sure that it's tight against the edge over here. And then I'll bring this paper over, and then again, tape a small piece here, tape a small piece there. Once that's done, it's time for the ends. And you can do this one of two ways. You can either bring the sides in like this, and then you can fold these up or down. Or I know some people, like my dad, will put these down here and then bring in these other sides this way. I typically tend to do it the other way. I fold in these sides first and tape it, and then I'll fold these parts down. But it's up to you, you can do it either way. But again, I like to put a small piece of tape right here. I stick on one side. I just put the tape on one side of the paper at first, so that way I can kind of hold it and pull it tight. And then I will push the tape onto it to make sure this corner is nice and tight. And then you just do that to the same side. And then you typically want the edge of your paper to be on the back side if you're folding a piece of tape. This is gonna be our front, and you don't wanna have a piece of tape come up and around on the front. So make sure that you're also taping along the back side where all the other tape is. So once this side is done, you're just gonna go ahead and repeat that on the other side. And there we go. Everything is all done. You cannot see the box in between. That's why I like to make sure that the sides overlap just a little bit so you cannot see the box, because if your sides don't meet, that might ruin what present is inside if you can see just a little bit of the box. So everything is covered on all sides for us. And so this is the front of the box. So I'm gonna go ahead and add a tag and a bow that somewhat matches these colors. Like, I wouldn't grab something that's blue or gold because it doesn't match, and I don't think it looks nice, but if you want it to look crazy, go for it. And also make sure that you kind of wait like 30 seconds before taking this off to make sure it's dry, because if you smear it, it's just gonna look bad. And I typically try to stay in one of the corners so that way when we stack these to hide them or stack them under the tree, I don't have a bow in the center and it's not gonna get as squished, hopefully. If you do need to push this down where the writing is, you can also take your little sticker thing, the one that you just took it off of, place it over that and then rub it to make sure that it's stuck down so it won't come off. And that way you're not gonna smear it because there's something protecting it and your oils aren't touching it, and it'll stay. And this one is done. This is for our son Connor. This is the first one that we've done, and we've got a lot more to go. Oh, this one is really heavy. I think this one we got at Sam's Club. You can see like how thick it is. Like it has rolls for days. The only time that rolls are acceptable unless you're eating them for dinner. But this one's actually double-sided, so you can either use this green side with Santa Claus, or this side says Mary and it has stockings and little trees. But I'm wrapping one for Bo, and it's gonna be a weird shaped present. So I'm gonna show you my kind of hacks on how to wrap something like this, and I think I'm gonna have this side out. So this has like a tiny bit of damage right here, like my cat bit it or something. I don't know what happened. But this is gonna be the same general idea. Start with the flat side. I find it to be easier than trying to tape things on the front where there's nothing for the tape to grab onto. And I try to hold it flat as best I can like this. But it's gonna be the same idea of the process. And I will flip this over. Right now this is upside down to where the toy is sitting. So when I cut this out, I'll flip the paper around so that way it's going upwards just like the toy is. So again, I'm gonna start about halfway or a little more than halfway on the back side and hold this down and make sure that this reaches halfway down the box on this side. And this is heavy and this is awkward, so it's gonna be kind of difficult for me to put it up and over. So I'm actually just gonna eyeball this one in particular. I just put the tape here to keep this from rolling at me. If you don't have a grid like the previous paper, since this is double-sided, try to find something like this stocking here is cut off right about the heel, so that's what I'm trying to follow to make a straight line. So just find something in the pattern and try to stick with that for a straight line. And obviously for this one, there's only a side here. There's no side wall on this portion, so I'm mainly trying to keep the paper straight with this section, so it's just kind of floating on this side, or on this side rather. This wasn't cut very well. I can already tell it's going to be slightly uneven, but hopefully it'll still turn out okay. Or if you want to make it easier on yourself, just put things like this in a bag. So right now I'm just trying to figure out what the best and easiest way is for this, since it's not a typical box shape. I'm trying to see if it's easier for me to stand it up and mess with the top, or if I should fold it while it's laying down. So if I tape this where it sits, this is what it's gonna look like from the front. So it's still flat and smooth on the front side, and all of the tape and everything will still be in the back. And then I'm just gonna put the bow and the tag on here, and when there is not a hard surface to put it on, you just have to be careful not to push too hard, otherwise you'll rip right through the present. I've done that a few times, it's not fun.
I'm out of place in a sea full of smiles, walking down Main Street tonight. Got a lot on my mind since you walked out and said, Merry Christmas, babe, give me some time. Holidays are coming and there's no way around. Better join in the holiday crowd, while I'm struggling to find some peace of mind. Merry Christmas, babe, hope you're alright. When you're not here to walk with me, it all seems like...
So another hack that I have for you guys regarding Santa presents is, my kids know my handwriting. I write things for school and whatnot all the time. So I'm having my husband write them, and I'm making him write in all caps. That's what my parents did too. My dad always wrote them out, and he wrote in caps too, so that way we didn't recognize the handwriting and we would be thrown off. So I just think it makes it a little more like authentic. So that's what he's doing right now.
6 and you're still on my mind, while an old man sings Oh Holy Night. Yeah, the streets might be full, but I'm empty inside. Merry Christmas, baby, wish you were mine. When you're not here to walk with me, which makes it all seem great. So tell me tonight, won't you come home? These are the days you shouldn't be alone. And if tonight you've got no plans, bring the miracle back home around, 'cause I need it in this part of town. I don't need anything, guess I got everything. I should be doing just fine.
Good morning. It is the next day. So we only got done with maybe half of it, and I actually ran out of our SANTA paper. Bo's over there, so I don't think he'll know if I say the word, but just in case. So I ran out of that special paper. That was from last year. Now I got separate or new Santa paper. He didn't catch on. We got that last year at clearance, on clearance at Walmart, and I was looking at the roll and I didn't think we would have enough, but I thought it might be okay, and I felt like I should have used the new one just in case. I didn't, so that's why 3 of them, I think, ended up in bags. I don't think that the kids have seen those bags before. Hopefully they don't recognize it, but we got all the S things finished. So we maybe got halfway through our stuff, and we didn't even get to bed till like 1:30 after putting everything away, reorganizing things and all that stuff. So I'm gonna start with some of Matt's stuff first, and then I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the kids' stuff. So let's get wrapping.
turning yellow. The air is getting cold. My mind is feeling mellow. The days of fall are growing old. When I say that your arms should always be around me, come the day when the snow is falling over all we see. I wake up from a slumber to the sound of carol songs. Despite the stress that we've been under, I feel today can turn out wrong. No, holding on to the feeling of complete devotion. When I'm gone, I will leave behind my love for you, my dear. Hope and laughter closing in on me, bringing the joyful harmony. 'Tis the season to be young and free. Oh yeah. Holding on to the feeling of complete emotion. When I'm gone, I will cherish all the love I feel for you. Hope and laughter chasing after me, to bring on joyful harmony. 'Tis the season to be young and free. Oh, hope and laughter closing in on me, bring the joyful harmony. 'Tis the season to be young and
Something's tugging at my sleeve. I do believe it's Christmas. It's cold outside, but I'm warm within, 'cause Christmas time is here. Children playing in the snow, a merry game they play, chasing each other to and fro, laughing all the way. Oh, what a jolly time to have the whole family here for a few days of love and grace. But when Christmas has gone, it'll be another year. When Christmas has gone, it actually was on a Christmas day, you came my way. That once upon a long ago, the Bethlehem star must have shown the way that led you to me. Now from our love and a little help from above, we've raised our little clan like it's part of a master plan. Still, when Christmas has gone, it'll be another year. When Christmas has gone, when Christmas has gone. When Christmas has gone. Oh, what a jolly time to have the whole family here for a few days of love and grace. But when Christmas has gone, it'll be another year. Another year. Oh, when Christmas has gone, it'll be another year. Merry Christmas. I remember Christmas as a child, waking up to all those smells and sounds, racing downstairs to see what might be under the Christmas tree. Oh, can I please, please have that back? That Christmas joy I once had as a boy. That Christmas peace when heart and soul were both at ease. That Christmas love I need more of. I remember making all the gifts, cutting out birds of paper and pretending they would live.
That will finally wrap up this wrapping video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Maybe you got some new ideas, some inspiration. Maybe you learned how to wrap. I hope it was helpful to you guys. I hope that you enjoyed the video. Make sure to subscribe down below if you have not already. I would love to have you. I do have some fun Christmas lunch videos coming up, Christmas cleaning videos, all sorts of fun stuff. And also hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss out on anything. Don't forget to head over to Instagram or Facebook as well if you'd like to follow me there. But I hope you guys are having a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.